Hi everyone, thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about how to shift your thinking patterns from helplessness to optimism. I was rereading one of my favorite books. It's called Learn Optimism by Martin Seligman. He's the father of positive psychology. And in the book, it talks about 3 P's that kind of get you in the mindset of pessimism. So by being aware of 3 P's and shifting the way you look at the situation or yourself, then that will help you to get out of the pessimism or be more optimistic, or at least to be neutral. So these 3 P's are personalization and pervasiveness and permanence. So what it means is personalization. Whenever something happens, you personally, it's because of me or because of what I did, or I'm not good enough, or I made a mistake or something like that. And pervasiveness means when you experience something negative, you apply it to all the aspects of your life. For example, if you made a mistake at work, then you say, oh, I'm always like this, and in my personal life I'm like that, and so I'm not a good employee, I'm not a good mom, I'm not a good wife, or whatever. So you just look, because of one incident, you look at everything in a negative way. And also the last one is permanence. It means because of this negative thing happened, or this negative feeling, you feel like this will last forever. And I was thinking about my grieving because I lost my son in November 2019. And my grieving process is, like waves, up and down, up and down. And sometimes I remember beautiful memories and I'll be happy, but sometimes I feel sad, or sometimes I regret. Especially because when I read health books, I've been reading a lot of health related books, and when I find out about sugar, insulin, or whatever, oh, I could have done this to my son, or because of he was eating this, maybe he got cancer, all these things. But I try to not just now, since we were fighting cancer together too, but I think I was trying to apply to these 3 things. And now when I'm grieving, I'm doing that too. So for example, personalization, like I said, I could have done this, I could have done that. Or because I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with him. Or, oh yeah, I was giving him too much sugar or too much processed food, things like that. So it was because of me or my fault. But I always try to catch the thought and say, hey, you did your best. It's not just you, everything else, to environmental pollution or genetics. We never know. And so I try to kind of detach myself, not to be blaming myself. First of all, it already happened. So, no matter how much I blame myself, it doesn't make him come back or rewind everything and redo it. So it just make you feel negative. So I put a pause button and stop personalizing. I mean, it happens, you tend to do it many times, and I think that's same for everyone else. It's automatic, unconscious, so it happens in your head. But the important thing is you realize, notice what you're doing, and pause, and use framework like this one to kind of make a decision, to make a choice to stop. So that's what I do, the first one. And the second one is pervasiveness, right? So yeah, I lost my son. So especially at the beginning, like everything looked so dark, and it affected, how I feel about anything, or when I'm doing anything, the thought was always there. And oh yeah, I'm a person who lost my son, and my life is not happy, or it could have been in that way in every aspect. But I try to, yes, it happened, but that doesn't mean I cannot be happy in other aspects of my life. That doesn't mean I have to be always grieving whatever I do. So I try to be grateful for other parts of my life, that whatever I have or whatever I didn't lose. So this gratefulness, right? Not just sunk with the idea that I lost my son, but I have other things, and I can still have fun. I can still move on with my life. Losing my son doesn't mean I have to stop and grieve all the time. So that's the second part. And then the last one is permanence. Permanence is like, I will be stuck with the feeling forever. Like I said, it's up and down. Just because I can think positively, that doesn't mean it will go away. It will revisit me, every now and then, and I feel sad. And especially like Facebook, when it showed me like 2 years ago what I was doing, 3 years ago, 7 years ago when he was little, and I look back and I feel sad that he's not here, and it could make me feel really depressed for a long time. But at the same time, I look at it as everyone goes through this. I think it's connected to kind of deep personalization too. Sooner or later, we all die, and it just happened to him early. And that doesn't mean he was a bad person. I was a bad mom or anything, but it's a circle of life, right? And if you look at it from a longer perspective, it's happening to everyone. So it's not that me losing my son is the end of the world or anything. So I will continue on with my life, and I have more ups and downs, and at the beginning I feel like I lost my son, so there could be nothing worse that could happen. But emotion wise, that doesn't mean I don't experience any negative emotions. I can get angry, upset, or irritated at small negative things. So yeah, the sadness or this feeling, like big wave that I experience, gets smaller and smaller, and sometimes it gets bigger. So nothing is really permanent. So I can kind of take a look at it from a distance and see, oh, this is what I'm feeling. So, looking at memories from Facebook, or looking at what he wrote, or all the videos that we had, it gives me bittersweet feeling. Sad, but at the same time warm. And so I think because of this 3 P's that I'm doing, I think I can appreciate and enjoy this bittersweet memory, or this heartache that I have when I look back. So yeah, I think it's applicable to anybody's life, because I know that everybody goes through hardship and happiness, both in life, and you can lose your family member, or you can go through health issues, whatever, with yourself or with family members. Everybody's having some adversities. But I hope that by knowing this, what you're doing, like, are you personalizing? So do you want to depersonalize it, or are you seeing the event as pervasive? It's just one part of life. And do you see the event as like permanent? No, it's again one time frame in your life, and life goes on. So I hope these concepts help. And if you're interested, I recommend you to read Martin Seligman's Learned Optimism, and also Sheryl Sandberg, my favorite book, Option B. She talked about it too in her book. So I hope you will either read these books or sit on YouTube or TikTok and learn about how to shift your way of thinking from looking through helplessness to more optimistic. Or you don't have to be too optimistic, you know, or too positive when you're really feeling down, you know. I know the feeling, but I think just being able to be neutral, observe your feeling and acknowledge what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and try to separate the feeling from separate the thinking from feeling and just be there, is already great. You don't have to be kind of try to be optimistic. So I hope this is helping you if you're going through some emotional challenge. But I know everybody has some coping strategy already. So I want to ask you, what is your coping strategy when you are going through hardship? I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. See you next time.